Mike Ayala, the #1 ranked contender in the WBC. He's 21 years of age. 22 wins, 1 loss, 12 knockouts. He's known as Cyclone Ayala. He stands 5'4" and weighed in at 125 and a half.
My name is Miguel Antonio Ayala. Everybody calls me Mike. Born and raised in San Antonio, Texas, and that's where we started in the Golden Gloves, the big tournament. There used to be over 300 fights, and it was. So we started there, and then in '73, when I was 15, you had to be 60 to be in the Golden Gloves. And what happened was that I was already developing and stuff, and my grandmother used to work for the Santa Rosa Hospital. So my dad talked her into getting a blank birth certificate. And my grandmother, she got a blank birth certificate, and they made me, instead of 58 when I was born, they changed it to 57 to become 16 to fight in the Golden Gloves. And I fought, and in 1973, that's when I became National Golden Glove champion all the way. That's the first time I met Sugar Ray Leonard and Derek Holmes, and they were all part of the Olympic team. First, the Golden Gloves, San Antonio, a lot of fighters. Then you got to go to Fort Worth, the state. Then if you win the state, you represent Texas in the National Golden Gloves. When I won it in 15, I fought right outside of Boston, Lowell, Massachusetts. It was in Lowell. They moved city to city, it depends. Then in '75, the Golden Gloves was in Knoxville, Tennessee. So they move, they go from, So that's the fun part about it. And you see everybody from Washington, Palmer Park, Maryland, all over the United States. Eugene, Oregon, all for California, and that's where all the fun is. Oh, it's exciting. I've been fighting all my life, and it was just, natural. Like, you see, like when you play in a little league team, baseball, any part of the competition, as you're young, and always about winning. You pose the question, what is fear? Well, I'm scared. No, fear, what it is not knowing what's going to happen. That's what fear is. Fear is, you don't know, am I going to come out alive or not? Gladiators, the war, when they sit in a cage and they're going to come out and the lions are out there and they're wondering, am I going to survive this? Some people don't, and just like in boxing. And in boxing it was like the gladiators too, because I remember in '73, they just set us in chairs, and you go, as the fighters would go in and box, you would move up a chair, and then the fight was over, come out, and then you move, and then you're coming up, and then, sometimes you would get up and start warming up, and that's the way the Golden Gloves was, It was, barbaric, but yet fun. You see the guy that you're gonna fight right next to you, so he's right next to you. And you look at him, and the same thoughts, it's funny, the same thoughts are running through your mind, or running through his. Will I beat him? Sometimes you look the guy down, well, this guy's pretty muscular. And sometimes when you think, oh, this guy's easy, he looks pretty good, that's the guy that gives you the hardest fights.
Yeah.
They can hit and stuff, so. And then you see, like the black fighters, and there's a lot of black boxers. And those suckers are like sculptures, they're well built and stuff, and but you just gotta go and do your thing, and it's how you prepare yourself and all that, so, that's how you work. But training was always, it was 24/7 in my house, running, training, my father would teach us stuff, boxing. One of the events I was raised by a Marine, and I lived boot camp all my life, that's the way it was, get up in the morning and run. I can't hear you, all that BS and all that shit.
It's tough, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was rough, but it makes you survive boxing. It's sad, even though you fight a good fight and people say, oh, good fight, when you get your ass kicked, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And then especially when you let people down and you wanted to win the tournament and stuff, and that's the way it is. It's rough. But I had a good career as the amateurs. I fought Tommy Hearns, I fought a lot of good fighters in the Golden Gloves, and then from there I went to, I was getting ready to go to the Olympics, and then I decided to turn pro. It was a dumb move, but to fight for the world title, like fighting for the Super Bowl, you know, and playing for the Super Bowl. Every team don't get that chance, and I had it 3 times, so I was pretty lucky. That's why I give my hats off to Leija and Robert Quiroga and John Michael Johnson to win the championship. You know what I mean? That's a great honor. Just to get into the ring, it's a whole different, like, you know, facing fear, facing, you know, like we were talking about. That's the only sport that tests to find out who you really are. Sometimes, you know, to find out who you are is that, you know, I mean, you realize, hey man, I need a lot of work. My first pro fight was in Corpus Christi, Texas, because I couldn't fight pro here because I turned pro at 17.
Right.
And so in Texas, they could, you know, you had to be 18 to turn pro. I fought in Mobile, Alabama, New Mexico, all around the surrounding areas, because I couldn't fight in Texas. I fought in Mexico, two Pelas Negras. And that's when, you know, then when I turned 18, that's when Tony Padilla, you know, started promoting me here, and you know, the fans and everything was, I had a good homecoming. It was pretty good, and I had a lot of professional fights. But you know how it is when you come, you know, from the barrio and stuff. You know, there's extra stuff that happens, and you know what I mean. Then you get caught up into the things of life, you know, drugs and things and hassles, and you know, and then the pitfalls of life. Then you have to come back and there's other things to fight, and then, you know, conditioning, and then, you know, like I've done it all my life. So when you get a taste, when you start growing up and you get a taste of the nightlife and stuff, and it's like you give a baby a piece of candy, you don't let it go. And sometimes, you know, it's how you handle it. It's what you have to overcome and realize that, you know, sometimes you don't train the way you're supposed to train, and then you get beat, and then, you know, you should have won the fight, and you know, that's the way it is. A tactic camps use, they pulled out, said, I'm going to schedule, you know what I mean? They pulled out, and then it was scheduled for Father's Day in June, but I was already ready for May. So then what happens is you get down, then you know, come back, and then, you know what I mean? And what's bad about boxing, and what's bad about our lifestyle was we would train, make weight, get ready to train, boom, you're there, then party. You know what I mean? It was about how you party, you get ready, then you get back in again. And then, you know what I mean? But sometimes when you're young, when we were young, you know, with the guys and stuff, you know, party. And, you know, I was battling that, and, you know, it was a lot of things that I had to. Then I realized that after the Lopez fight, it was devastating to me, because I should have been world champion. It didn't happen. And, you know, the letdown to myself, you know what I mean? And I realized, and it was hard. But a lot of things were happening, you know, to me. The drug problem, I was facing 10 years in a penitentiary for aggravated assault against, you know, a fellow boxer, and there was a lot of things that were happening in my life then, and, you know, I mean, it was not making the excuse, right. But then to go 15 rounds, you know what I mean, that's the way it is. So, you know, my life has been an open book. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not ashamed of anything I did. Right. At that time, you know what I mean, you know, I've learned, that's how I quit my drug addiction, is I've been clean for over 40 years. Wow. Is that you gotta face your problem. You face it, you realize. See, a lot of times, a lot of people, what they do, they point the finger. Well, this is, yeah. The hardest thing to do is to get the finger and put it back to yourself. You know what, it's me. I picked it up, I did it. You know what I mean? That's what's helped me understand, you know what I mean? Yeah, sometimes there's variables, there's people, you listen to the wrong people and stuff, but you have to, you know, understand that you're the one. You can either say, you know what, no. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of times you get people and you says, no, te crees muy bueno, you know, you think you're too good. And I said, realize, man, sometimes, you know what, you gotta back off. Yeah. You gotta back off and says, no, man, this is not for me. Like a poll, and, you know, they have names and stuff. And then when I first came out on that poll, I saw certain, you know, about certain categories, some other guys, some golfers, and they have all kinds of sports people in the paper, and they vote and stuff. Well, when all my shit happened and all that stuff was happening in my life and stuff, and then when I decided to retire and find a job and stuff, I saw my name in one of those polls, but I thought I was never gonna, I wasn't Cinderella, you know what I mean? Hey, you know what I'm gonna, you know what I mean? The thing is, I had a drug problem. I'm a kid from the barrio, from the west side, and what's gonna be your legacy? You know what I mean? What's gonna be, you know, what people are gonna say and stuff. I said, wow, it'd be cool, you know what I mean? And I talked to a reporter, and the reporter's name was Jerry Briggs. And he tells me, he used to be a reporter for The Light, remember? Then he went to the Express the News. And we were talking. And I was saying, wow, you know what I mean? And at the time, I think, I'm 62 now. At the time, I think it was 45, 46. And I says, my name keeps on coming on there, but I never, you know, I mean, you know, why is it I've achieved a lot? 3-time national champion, I was Olympic, I was in the, and he tells me, but your backstory's not good. And I realized it, and I said, well, so you don't think it says, you'll never get into the Hall of Fame. And the San Antonio Hall of Fame we're talking about. I says, so then after I talked to the reporter, I really gave up. I said, you know what? Why even worry about that? Just do my job, go to school, and got my license. And then I was working I was at the college, and John Whistler, I had a couple of missed calls from John Whistler. So the funny thing about it, this is crazy. John Whistler's calling me, I says, well shit, the other time they call me is either my brother died of an OD, or one of my brothers got in jail. I'm not in jail, so you know what I mean. You know, what does he want? So but I was busy, so I wasn't returning his calls because I was doing a lot. I was at the school. You know, we were putting some chill water pipes inside the college. So then I finally get a chance to get a brief lunch. John, what's your calls again? So I asked, hey John, what's going on? And then he tells me, I don't know if you know this, but you made the San Antonio Hall of Fame. I said, what? You could hear a pin drop. I said, what? He said, yeah, you made the Hall of Fame. And I was shocked. I was really shocked. I was surprised that you know, I didn't even think about it. Because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it at all. So it was a great honor. And it happened. I didn't think it was going to happen. After my father died, and you know, and when that happened, I had just gotten divorced. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just got divorced and stuff, and so it was something great. It was a great feeling. I said, wow, I was surprised, and it was a good thing. So, you know what I mean? When tragedies were happening and stuff like that, and then, you know what I mean, it worked out for me. So it was good, and I'm proud of it. And just gotta, you know, just keep on doing what I'm doing.
As we watch Mike Ayala, we want to remind you we'll be seeing highlights of the World Boxing Council Super Bantamweight.
I got to give him another hand.
And you'll see Wilfredo Gomez against number 10 contender Julio Hernandez as they again give great recognition, well deserved, to Mike Ayala.